And welcome. I'm your friend Scotty Ray, along with Odie, as we begin a early Monday. As I mentioned before, this is it of August 28th.
Wow. I mean, we're right here at the end of it, and like you said, Christmas coming, October's coming. I mean, we got Halloween, turkey, and then
don't
big
forget
man in
Labor
red.
Day. Don't forget about Labor Day now.
Labor Day. No, but 46% of us work, and we still got Labor Day.
Yep.
Don't nobody labor no more.
No, you're right. They had Vegas odds out in Wyandotte whether or not you'd show up today.
Well, I'm sorry y'all lost. We, Friday was, I went to bed Wednesday and fell asleep before the show Friday.
Didn't get much rest, did you?
I didn't get much rest, but.
And speaking of, we had an accident just a little bit ago. Greg, I think you were out at the scene. Greg Chatham joining us this morning.
Good morning.
In his official capacity of his job this morning. But as we go back to this, let's pull up a little bit of this wreck of what happened. This would be the scene I-20. Simmons Wrecker had to show up. I believe they had to send 2 wreckers, if I'm not mistaken. Now, we get into this, and look at this. What is this? That's front of a truck, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Part of his hood.
And that's where it used to belong.
Where most of it was.
Yes, sir. No tires. And Greg, you'll have to, I see that we've got a ruptured gas tank there. Overall, what happened here, Greg? What can you tell us about that wreck from being there?
Well, it's still under investigation, but it appeared somebody stopped and somebody didn't. They one slowed down, sideswiped another one. He went through the guardrail, behind the pillars that hold the bridge up.
Oh, behind
all the way around, and that's kind of when he lost. Both fuel tanks were ruptured. Lost the front cap, and he ended up. He did a good piece of driving. Him or the good Lord won because he kept it upright. He didn't turn over. It was right side up, but there wasn't no tires left on it much.
Now, and from what I understood, there was nobody seriously hurt in all this, was it?
No, just some feelings, I think.
Oh, boy, them feelings sometimes tough, isn't it?
Yeah.
But miracles do happen every day, and that would be a prime example of what went on this morning. Is I-20 rolling again?
Yes, sir.
That's good news. If you're coming into work from the Alabama side, that was westbound, like you're going toward Jackson through Marion as you get near Sam's. It's the Highway 45 on-ramp right along in there.
Yeah, between the Russell and Highway 45 exits.
So we're good and glad to have that back up and rolling for everybody. How'd your weekend go, Odie?
And it went great. We the dive team got together and we went to Pelham, Alabama, and did some dive training and stayed underwater a good bit of the weekend.
All I could tell you is I showed up at an accident scene and they were all giggling about Odie, and you know how they Greg, you know how they do those that dancing in the water with the ballerina. They said that Odie had gone to ballerina school.
I was thinking more SpongeBob, but I couldn't get to the rest of it. He looks more like Mr. Squidward.
Oh, have mercy. But everything turned out fine?
It did. It turned out great. We had 2 full days of just staying underwater, and I didn't hear a radio. I couldn't hear a phone. You don't hear anything but blah, 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 blah.
Right.
So it was a great weekend.
Man alive. Now we've had a fire, and Greg's going to get into this here in just a little bit about what to expect. We had a huge fire in Marion this morning on Highway 45 North, right before you get to the overpass there, where it goes to the 4-lane. There's an abandoned house that sits to the left. That is what caught on fire. Here's the bridge, and then this is that house that sits right here to the left there. Caught on fire this morning. First responders showed up. It was fully engulfed when they rolled up on scene.
Man, that's something. And you look, the majority, I'm not saying this one because I didn't go out there, but the majority of the homes that are vacant, that catch on fire are because of vagrants.
Right.
And, whether the family is
Out of town.
not able to do anything, out of town, it was willed to them, they just hadn't done anything with the home, we don't know, but that's someone else's property, that's someone else's home, and these people just go inside and make it their own, and
They sure do.
This happens.
That's a bad one there. Totally destroyed. We'll go get pictures after daylight so you can see what actually went on with that. A lot of folks saying, what is that liquid stuff? Yeah, it's a little bit of rain this morning as we look at this.
Yeah.
As we pull up Meridian Honda radar, we're going to show that it's eastern, now at this point, eastern Clark County. Lie wrong in here. Let's turn on some locations where you can see exactly where it's raining this morning. This is going to be Clarko State Park. Everything due east of there into Lauderdale County. Look at here. We're getting a little bit of rain there in Causeyville at the ball field. Hadn't quite made it down to the racetrack, but all around where the Boy Scouts are, and, well, even out here where Charlie is next to Southeast High School, some showers on 19th, so be careful in that area. And all up here in Toomsuba, right around the lake there, we're getting some showers at Tom Bailey. East of here at Dalewood. Light rain there, but nothing heavy. So be careful. And Greg, I'm going to turn to you on this. Of when we hadn't had rain forever, what's it do to a highway?
Oh, it's slick. It's bad slick. I mean, you think of all the traffic that comes through this area and the oil and the tires, and it just gets slick. And when it first starts raining, it might as well be ice. I mean, it's like glass. Just take a little more time, leave a little early, watch your braking, and stay off your phone.
Yeah, it's yeah, and we're going to get into that about first responders this morning. I got a video clip, and then I was there yesterday morning at an accident. It's a wonder we haven't had a huge incident to where a first responder has been hit. I was standing there with him, and it was just...
It's constant, and it is scary. You get out there working, and you're trying to pay attention to what's going on with that scene, and you've got one eye looking at that scene, and the other eye is sitting there watching traffic because people don't have a freaking clue.
No, and that's a good way to put it. I'm trying to find that beautiful bean footage there of what I'm talking
even with
about.
all that rain we had, even both of Barry's cows got rain. So if he'd have gone out there with a little bit of soap, but both of them could have had a bath.
Let me show you this. Now, this is an actual scene. This was the wreck Friday morning on Highway 19. First responders are there. Somebody has rear-ended, and I've got pictures of that. But I want to show you what they go through. Let's pull this up here. Here's the scene. Here's your the wrecked truck. And let's hit play here. You got this Dodge Challenger passing by. Pretty decent speed. Now, watch what comes up. Now, again, let's play that again. Now, there is no way. All it would have took is one of these guys looking at that and walking backwards, and they would have been struck.
Well, in that first car you saw, the Challenger, was going at a decent speed. There's a lot of times that those cars have their phones up, and they're trying to record the scene
right
while you're out there cleaning up, and then they'll come to almost a stop, and then you got this blooming idiot that doesn't have a clue what's going on around him because he's most likely watching his phone, that it sneaks up on him, and then he goes to slam on brakes and in the middle of our scene.
Right there is where these guys were standing. Video rolling here out of this truck here, and that's where these cars zoom by. If you see something, slow down. It's not worth hurting somebody, is it?
Let me tell you, if you hit somebody on a scene like that, as a first responder, you now have felony charges. It's not worth felony charges.
No, it's not. So we got a lot to go over this morning. There's tons of things to look at. Incidents we've had, and y'all ain't gonna believe this. We had somebody get shot in Marion over the weekend. I know I shot you.
I didn't hear anywhere I was at.
Rough.
I spent a lot of time underwater. I didn't either.
Yeah. We'll give you details on all of that coming up as we get this morning started here for you at the Scotty Ray Report.
Hi, I'm Chris Bullock, Republican candidate for District 1 Supervisor. My proven record of experience includes running my family's business, Caters Market, serving our community, and supporting our schools and law enforcement. I was born, raised, baptized, and married here in Lauderdale County, and I'm prepared and dedicated to serving you. I humbly ask for your prayers and your vote in the Tuesday, August 29th runoff. Thank you again for your support. Vote Chris Bullock.
H&H Residential of Meridian is your #1 carpet and flooring store. If you've been thinking of a new look for your home or office, call for a free estimate or consultation. H&H can install or you can do it yourself. H&H has all of your design needs from color, style, and texture. If you can dream it, H&H can make it a reality. Come see the large selection of hardwood flooring, laminate, vinyl, and even carpet. H&H Residential of Meridian, open Monday through Friday, 9 to 4, 321 Hawkins Crossing Road. Call Rosemary anytime, 601-462-9541.
Collinsville, Mr. Discount Drugs, your local pharmacy and gift shop, thanks you for your continued support. Whether you shop with us in-store, through our app, over the phone, or in our drive-thru, our team will provide the best personalized customer service experience you expect from your local pharmacy. When you call or message us, you are promptly greeted by the Mr. Discount team that's ready to help. When you choose our pharmacy, you're choosing a locally owned pharmacy that cares about you and your community. Collinsville, Mr. Discount Drugs makes a difference.
Welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. We brought up that shooting. Let's show you the scene of where this. I had to drive around a couple of times to get the exact location of where this happened. I first got a message that there had been a shooting. We didn't know the exact location, so I headed over and finally got it narrowed down. And what happened, a guy goes to the store, and maybe he got some sunflower seeds and an orange drink, and he's walking down Highway 39. Let me show that visual there. Here we are, walking down here, all along about here, and then you notice a black car pull up, all tinted windows, and then they start coming down. It's generally when it's time to run.
Or duck.
Yes, that's when the guns come out of the back window of the car and shot at him. Well, they were successful. They hit him. He was rushed to a local hospital. I think he's going to be okay, the last report I got. But things like that happen. If y'all remember, let me show this. Was it last year? Somewhere right up here where this turn-in is, there was a guy sitting there to come out, and a car pulled up beside him and emptied on it, and his car rolled across the road, and he passed away there. So a lot of action in that little stretch there on Highway 39 before you reach MEPA. Be cautious in those areas as you make your travels each day. We want you to be safe, but that's what happened.
39, they have made some improvements through there. A lot of road work going on.
Yes.
And it's been going on for a long time, and they're coming towards the end of it. But that's going to be a different pattern. It's not going to be as many crossovers. I think it's going to end up being a little bit better than what it was, but continue to be careful as you go down 39, and it won't be long they'll have that back open. Dale Drive, remember the bridge. People were finding out Wednesday at the last moment going, I didn't know you was closing the bridge. Well, everybody's told y'all for 3 months the bridge's going to be closed. Now, what y'all do with that information if you even found it, Dad? But it was out there. Enough people were saying that they're going to close the bridge.
That's right. You can make it all the way to Eastgate Tire Shop. You got to kind of stop there and have a drink with them, or go in and get you a Coke or a new tire.
All right, one of the two.
Because you ain't getting across the bridge.
But it won't be long. About 3 months, they're going to have that redone and open back up. So they're working.
Another thing that we wanted to mention, and this is one of those instances, let me explain to you the way I understood it. I see it a lot at post offices, storefronts in towns, to where somebody, and generally it's somebody elderly, I don't know what caused it here, but a confusion in between the brake and the gas. And this will happen every time as we go here to pull this up, of this incident that happened here. This was just off of North Hill Street. As you can see, a car into a home. We got Metro and all the police department piled up here on the scene. It done some major damage to that house. Look at that door.
And that wall, that's a major weight-bearing wall.
Yeah, sure is.
So now that structure is not safe, at this moment.
As long as I've lived here, I've never been on that street. You're coming up on North Hill Street, where bounds coming from Highway 19, that first right-hand road. I've just never been down it. I've seen it all these years, but never pulled off in there.
And now you have. Your bucket list was done.
It was. I went a lot of places this weekend I had never been. Now, let's talk again about accidents and how they happened, where maybe the word is not paying attention. You're going down the road and you get distracted.
Yeah.
I think this would be the best word for this. As we come up on this, and I was here with the police talking to them and cars zipping by. Here's what happened. We got a truck that was turning into a driveway that was bumped from behind, and here's what's left of that. That was a hard lick. Look how far it drove that hood back.
Yeah, it tore his upper lip up.
It sure did. The Camry's got some issues this morning. Possibly a total loss. I don't know. Maybe Chet could put it, like Humpty Dumpty, put it back together again. But things like that happen, and that's why we say watch your phones, pay attention to where you're going and what you're doing. And Greg, you can vouch for this with this rain that we got today. You put all that together, what do you get?
It's going to take a lot longer to stop this morning.
Yeah.
And you've got to pay attention. Main thing is put your phone down. I mean, cell phones, we're all addicted to them. I'm just as guilty as the next person. But just be careful. I mean, it doesn't take but just a second. And, I mean, you're on somebody. And, I mean, people pulling out, especially like you was talking about in these road construction areas.
Yeah.
Traffic, start, stop. I mean, people, and nowadays, I don't mean this to be ugly, but people can't go nowhere without a GPS. And if they tell them it's
Right.
rerouting, I mean, they have to come to a complete stop to get further instructions. I mean, come on, people, keep moving,
And here's something that happens, and I want everybody to understand that. If you're on a 2-lane road, and if you're on your phone or trying to text, and that right tire runs off the edge of that road, and there's any type of, is the word dip in the road there?
Oh, it's going to be a dip.
When you come back up, what's it going to do?
You're
Greg?
going to overcorrect. Usually because you're startled that you ran off the road, so you snatch the wheel to the left, and the next thing you know, you're into oncoming traffic or you're across the road in the other ditch. So just be careful. If you run off the road slow, run back on the road slow. Easy. Just easy.
I'm being serious with this. I ran off the road in that big Lincoln, I don't know, about 6 months ago. It went off the road, come back up, and spun around like that, and started back in the same lane right where it was. I went, whoop, that never happened, and I kept going.
You didn't nobody see that,
It did a complete 360.
That's right.
And it was had somebody been coming?
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't take but just a second. And it's like we said, it hadn't rained in a month, and all that oil and stuff's on top of the pavement. It's very slick. Slow down. Just leave a little early. Or, hey, get chewed a little bit if you're a few minutes late clocking in. I'd rather you get chewed out than we just have to go pick you up off the side of the road.
Our next factor that we want to put into this morning now, there's something called the old yellow dog that is rolling on top of this, and frequently it stops.
Stop, start. Yep. Pay attention to them little children crossing the road. Some of them aren't paying attention. Some of hey, give them room,
Because a child doesn't think like an adult does. They're walking and talking, and they just don't think of a car.
That's right.
Well, they're getting out of school. They're ready to be home because that's where their Game Boy is, or their Nintendo's at, and their TV. And when that bus door opens, they don't care that they've got to cross another lane of highway. They're going to go around that bus and run to inside that house. And if you're not paying attention when you come by, terrible things happen. It happens in other places.
That's right, Anita.
Yeah, we don't get it
I agree
here.
with you. Your wording there. I'll let you keep your wording there. I won't repeat
like that star.
Oh, there
But
you are. There.
definitely school buses, and y'all know what time they come. And if it's in the middle of your trip to work, then get up and leave early.
That's right.
Get up, beat them.
We'll be right back. More on the way as we begin your Monday morning.
Our local headlines are brought to you by the Rock House Gun and Pawn.
Your local farmer knows a good deal when he sees one. The L-Series Kubota tractor is the #1 selling compact tractor in the USA and offered at Parish Kubota with 0% financing available. Come see why we're more than a tractor store at Parish Tractor.
At the Back Porch, we're bringing families back together for fun, food, and all the things you love to enjoy around your home. Every event starts with a great grill, great cookware, and accessories. Add in some locally sourced meat and dairy, along with frozen vegetables and casseroles, and over 500 brands of spices and sauces. Relax in our chairs, swings, day beds, and have fun with our cornhole boards. From coolers to trailers, we have everything you need. When you see the big chair, you've made it to the back porch.
And welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. As we talk about fires, Greg is a part of the Lima team here, but for how many years did you work for the forestry?
I worked for 29 years.
Well, he was there 29
I was
years.
employed
That
for
work is
29.
hard work.
And it was, I had a lot of fun, met a lot of wonderful people, and I can honestly say I've probably been all over Lauderdale County.
Now, what people don't realize, let's talk about fires and how dangerous they've cut back on the amount of employees that is employed by the fire service. So this makes it even worse when it comes to a fire because there's not enough people or there isn't as many there used to be to come put that fire out.
Right. When I started, I think they had like 1,100 employees, and I think they're down to 250, 300 employees now.
That's major, Greg.
We used to have 3 tractor plow units just for Lauderdale County. Had 4 in Clark, 4 in Kemper. And I think there's 3 tractor plow units now for Lauderdale, Newton, and Scott County. And none of them are over this way, you know.
Woof.
And I mean, it's not their fault. I'm not blaming them, but things happen. We used to prepare for the worst. But we had some slack years. The volunteers built up, and the fire numbers weren't there. Did that mean they couldn't be there? No. But we were prepared. Well, now it seems like it didn't happen, so they're betting that it's not going to happen.
And cut back.
And you cut back. And it's a common thing. It happened in Georgia. It happened in South Carolina.
But let's just say, here's an example of this. A fire breaks out. These dozers and crews are way away from Lauderdale.
Yes.
So response time is going to be 45 minutes to an hour.
2 hours.
No. We used to have an hour response time when we had them here. Because it takes a while to haul a dozer from Savoy to Lauderdale, you know.
Correct.
But possibly 2 to 3 hours, and you got to realize if there's a fire here, there could be a fire in Newton, there could be a fire in Scott. I mean, these people, they're overworked. There's no doubt. And as it dries, you don't usually just have one dry area. It's statewide or area wide, and that's people just really need to be careful. And don't think it can only happen in California or it can only happen out west. I mean, we're building houses in our county here in places that you know, we're in the woods. You know, it used to be the forest, and now there's a subdivision. So you got acres and acres of forest land that goes right up to your backyard.
And anything can happen. Now, I know over the weekend we had some pretty major forest fires that went on in Newton County. Right. Northern Newton, I think, had those boys, Hickory and all those areas, was working hard.
Right.
Overtime trying to get these fires out that happened over the weekend. So it can happen anywhere, as Greg said there. What about this wet stuff falling? Will you think it'll be okay to burn tomorrow since it rained today?
I think that it got to give people a false sense of security. I mean, I think as dry as it is, it's going to soak it up like a sponge. It took a while for us to get this dry, and it's going to take a while for us to get the water table back up, you know, get more moisture in the ground. Is this going to help? Do I appreciate it? Yes, sir. Thank you, sweet Jesus. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But we need a little more rain. And normally in this area, September and October to me was always the worst months. We had more fires normally in October than we had in March in Lauderdale County. Because you've got more people outside, you've got more people in the woods. Dove season opens this weekend, I think. Then you're going to have people preparing their green fields. Anytime you got more activity in the area, you got more chances of a fire breaking out.
What about what Bob just put there about the lawnmower on a rock?
Lawnmower on a rock. Bush hog. People bush hogging their green fields getting ready. When it's this dry, all you got to do is hit a piece of limestone, hit a rock, and you got a spark. And again, arson is not a big thing around here, not that bad. It's accidents. It's stuff that we don't have the lightning strikes that starts fires like they do out west. In 28, 29 years, I went to one lightning strike fire in the county. Because normally if we get lightning, we get rain.
Correct.
And out west, they have a lot of dry lightning. But we have accidents. And I mean, it's sad, but it is. Once you get more people in the woods, more people, and I'm glad they're out in the woods. Get your kids out. Get them in the forest. Just be careful. I mean, you know, if you see something don't look right, check on it. Hey, if I see smoke, check on it.
Yeah, that would save somebody's home.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the homeowners, that if you're building out in a forested area, a rural area, you can go online. It used to be great stuff I call a Firewise community. And it'll teach you about, you know, what you do. You build a big house, and the first thing you do is you stack a bunch of pine straw up next to it around your plants. Or you build a wooden fence, and you make it connect to your wooden house. Well, to me, that's a wick. That's a fuse.
Yeah, it sure
if the
is.
fence catches on fire and you're not at home, it's going to bring the fire right to your house.
Let me ask this. DeKalb, Mississippi has this, and I'm sure other areas do, because it's called Fire Tower Road.
Right.
Are those used anymore, those towers?
When I went to, I was blessed. I didn't think so at the time, but when I first went to work, we kept the tower. You had to go up if fire danger was at a certain level. We sat in the tower all day. And around 1993, I believe, we went to airplanes, and they would have an airplane for each district, and if fire behavior and if it was a certain level, they would fly the planes each day. But before that, there were 4 towers in Lauderdale County. Then we went to 1 tower. And then when they went cutbacks, they went to 1 tower. Well, a fire had to be pretty good size, because the way you crossed them out with a fire finder. Well, for the guy in the tower in Kemper and the guy at the tower in Clark, you had to have a pretty good fire. Well, by then you got more people getting out into rural areas, and they would report fires really before you could see them from the tower.
You're telling me most of these probably turned out being a deer stand somewhere.
Yeah, I mean they sold a lot of them. I mean they did. They sold and moved a lot of towers. A lot of places bought them for training, rope training and stuff like that. But yeah, I can honestly say I got to sit in a fire tower.
They were up there too, weren't they?
Yes, sir. And you would make lots of trips in a day to go back and forth. We even had to go back, when I first started, you'd have to go do night check. You'd have to go up if fire danger was real high, and you could see it glowing, you know,
at night.
And you'd cross it out. So yeah, the old fire finders, and go through that trap door in the floor, and had a map that flipped out of the ceiling. So it's changed a lot.
He had to use geometry to.
There wasn't no GPS. You didn't drop a pin. you know, it was section, township, range, and you crossed the fire
And
out.
no such thing as a cell phone.
No, sir. Oh, no, sir.
You had to go on a phone.
And if it clouded up, you thought it might lightning, you get out.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that. My, how things have changed through the years of where technology is now. It truly has changed. We're coming back in just a moment. We're going to go back to the state history. Lots to learn. I'm going to test these guys for what happened today. Y'all stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hello, I am Justin J.J. Anders, and I'm running for Lauderdale County District 1 Supervisor. I would like to thank everyone who came out in the August 8th primaries and voted for me. But our work is not done. I still need your vote. There's a Republican primary runoff election on Tuesday, August 29th. The Board of Supervisors is the business board of Lauderdale County. I'm a businessman with years of proven business experience. Please remember to vote for me, Justin J.J. Anders, on August 29th. I'm asking for your vote.
Summertime has arrived, and Freeman Tractor on Highway 494 has the exact lawnmower for your need. If you've got a big yard with acres and acres to mow, they have a mower for that. No matter the size yard you have, Freeman Tractor has the lawnmower that fits you and your budget. From 48-inch all the way up to 60, or the X-Mark lawnmower. Plenty of these to choose from. Also, they carry a complete line of LS tractors. Come by for a test drive today. Financing available. Drop in today to Freeman Tractor, Highway 494, see coleslaw or buttermilk.
Your next Maytag or Whirlpool appliance is waiting on you at All Temp Appliance and Refrigeration on Highway 19 North. If you've been trying to locate a freezer, stop by and see their big selection of upright and chest freezers, a showroom full of stoves, gas, and electric. Maybe it's a new refrigerator, from large double doors to the simplest of refrigerators. Name brand washers and dryers like Speed Queen and Amana. And delivery is available with a great service department to back up what they sell. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, and by appointment after hours and weekends.
Welcome back. As we learned that Lisa Pike has been up inside a fire tower before. Yeah. We're not going to ask questions on this, what she was doing up there?
She was sightseeing.
Okay. I'll leave it at that.
And then some regulatory affairs, y'all can delete him.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't know what. Oh, that's one of those fake ones there.
Yeah, we call those trolls.
That's exactly
go
what they
get
are.
a job, find something to do.
That's right. Good morning. You are at the Scotty Ray Report. This is Odie. I'm Scotty Ray. We've got our special guest on this other side here called Greg.
Good morning.
You're the fireworks guy.
Oh, yeah.
If no one knows, this is the guy that you go see come 4th of July and Christmas.
Yes, sir.
You're going to be there for.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'll see the fireworks, then we'll go stomp the fire up. It's job security.
Smart, Greg.
That's right.
All right, let's go back to 1921. Y'all know she wasn't a pretty woman. I'm
by
going to go
any
ahead and
means.
say this, but she did have a crush on Jethro, and why I don't think
Because he
they
was
ever-
dumb enough to have a crush back. It's the only reason it's got to be.
Crush on
Nancy Culp was born on this day. You'll know her as
Jane Hathaway.
from the Beverly Hillbillies.
And Jethro was Max Bear?
Yeah, I read-
Is he still alive?
Yes, he is the, if I am not mistaken, the
Old.
yeah.
He's working on his 8th grade education.
Yeah.
Because Ellie Mae, didn't she
Yeah,
pass?
she passed.
Yeah.
So Jethro is the only surviving cast member now.
And I didn't
Wow.
know that she had a thing for Elvis.
Ellie
Ellie Mae.
Mae did?
I read that. It had to be true. I read it on the internet.
Well, yeah, it's true. Did she ever make good
I
on that?
want to say that they dated or they worked on the same movie scene or something. I don't know where I read that.
Oh,
I
you
don't
show
read
up
much,
on-
but I
Well,
read
if
it.
I'd have been around there, I'd have dated her too.
Oh, I thought you meant Elvis.
I thought it was going there too.
He does like them banana sandwiches.
Oh, let's see what else happened today. 1929. Do you know what the name Roxy Roker is? Does that ring a bell with you, Greg?
No.
No, and we can see the confused look in Greg's face there.
And I'm lost on that one.
Let's pull up a picture, and I know you're going to know it. From the Jeffersons.
Helen Willis.
Yep. Helen. She has a birthday.
man.
She was born in 1929. She passed away in 1995. And, of course, you know, she's got the son that's so famous that's a singer now. Debbie, where are you?
I don't know.
He's
Her son was Lionel on there. But
Yeah.
But her real son is American Woman. Who sings that? Get away
I
from
don't know. My wife will know
Oh,
It starts with an L, if I'm not mistaken. Lenny Kravitz.
Really?
Yeah, that's her son.
You know, I've
No
heard
joke.
that. I've heard that before.
Well, she was not
And Angie
intimidated
said
by
that.
George.
Yep.
No, you're
She
right.
give George fits.
Boy, the Jeffersons a good show, y'all.
You couldn't do that
And
nowadays.
what's his name that was the neighbor down the road that always got
Mr.
caught?
Mr. Bentley.
And for those of you watching that have never seen this, go somewhere and watch one episode at least, because it was funny.
It's on the internet.
Oh,
You
yeah,
can
wait a minute.
find it.
Greg, give me one last name here. The door hop, the guy that always
Ralph. Ralph the door always had his hand out. Remember, George had slammed the door on his hand. And the bartender. I can't think of his name.
Isaac, wasn't it? Isaac?
No, that's on the Love
Oh,
Boat,
that's
Odie.
right.
You're getting your shows.
Let your
confused.
antenna up.
And of course, Florence and the whole nine.
Oh, now he knows this one.
Oh
for
yeah,
sure.
because he and I talked about this the other day. We were somewhere, I forget, I think on a rec scene. We were talking about shows that should have been bigger than they were.
Yes.
And this was one of them. As here it is.
Enos.
Enos. Why that show didn't take off?
Oh, I
I'll never
loved
know.
it. Didn't he go on to run for like legislature?
That was
What?
Cooter. Cooter become a senator.
Really? Okay. I don't know why I thought Enos. did.
Enos could have, and I just don't remember it. I met him.
That was a good show.
Oh, it was.
That was a good. I can't remember the old car he drove in that show.
He was all hyped up.
He always wanted to hook up with Daisy, and I think everybody else did too, though.
Do you remember him on Smokey and the Bandit?
Yes, I do.
Right, on the motorcycle cop.
You can't go swimming. You can't go swimming to Sadney. Isn't that what they said?
That's right.
Off in the hole he went. Oh, what a great time! I don't know. Did you? I don't think we got this channel when I was little, because you know you had 3 channels of television when we were all little.
Oh, yeah.
And did you-
Maybe if the weather was right.
Yeah.
Did you get to see this one?
Starsky
Oh,
and
yeah.
Hutch. Yeah, I didn't like that. This wasn't
It
my
just-
favorite.
I'm the same way. I did see it some, but it just they were not my heroes. The Ford Torino just never made it
No.
to the General.
No,
The most recognizable car in the world is the General Lee.
correct.
Oh, yeah.
It is there. And if you'll remember the Dixie Horn, do you remember the story of the Dixie Horn? The guy, they're getting ready for their first day of filming, and he's going down an interstate in L.A., and a car passes, he mashes that horn, and he chased him down and bought the horn off the side of the highway.
You had to have it.
Yeah, had to have it.
I want that.
Now, as we all get older, I thought we'd use this as an example this morning of you may have been like Mr. It during the 80s. You're not so much now. Let's take a look at this as we go to one of those Top Gun folks that was in the movie Mr. Buff. Let me hit this. It was a soccer. Volleyball. You remember that scene here on the left?
No.
Can you see it? There he is. But Mr. Buff thing there, you don't remember him?
No.
He was just one of them that played golf. Not golf, but volleyball.
You hit a right at
I'm
basketball,
confused.
volleyball.
Yeah, I'll get close to it. But Tom Cruise, on the other hand, as we pull this picture back up, Tom Cruise still looks the same way he did then.
Yeah, he ain't changed a bit.
Because he's got the magic of money to make
got
himself.
enough money, you look like
I thought
any.
that was at Scientology.
Yeah, no. Was that Mr. Potato Head money?
Yeah, it's a bunch of it. Now, this next guy, I know he's probably been in other things, but this is the one movie that made him famous as we go back to Home Alone.
Oh,
Daniel
yeah.
Stern.
Was it Marv?
Marv?
Yeah.
One of them's name was Marv.
Did he get branded in the forehead with an
the iron fell, remember? Then the best is when he steps on all the broken Christmas ornaments. When he comes through the door, through the window. Love that movie.
That bucket of paint hits him on the stairwell.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Folks, if
Smacks him with that crowbar, killing the spider.
things that are perfect. It was on this date in 1963 where one of the most famous speeches that ever occurred. It would be Martin Luther King who gave I Have a Dream speech today. It's still recited today. It's recorded. I can remember they even made...
But it's not studied.
Well, no. Yeah, they made 45s of it and sold it as a record. I remember that as a kid. But I Have a Dream. And a lot of his dream has come true now, if you go back and listen to that. One of the hottest women that ever got behind a microphone. And I have to give kudos to her parents were killed in a car wreck. She had younger siblings, and she'd pretty much get down in the creek and wash their clothes. They were that poor. She ain't got to do that anymore because, well, it's big. She has people that do that for her. Shania Twain, a Canadian wonder that done well for herself.
Absolutely.
Speaking of, let's critique him over here. This new guy, Anthony Oliver. Have you listened to his music yet?
No.
Oh,
I mean, you got to remember, Alan Jackson is new to me. I mean, you know.
Well, Greg, to give you an update on it, it's a guy from Virginia that basically barely getting by. He picks up his guitar, he writes a few songs, and he puts it on YouTube. And it was so good that a record company offered him $8 million. He said, Now he's making $40,000 a day himself singing and selling his music on YouTube. And it's basically about Washington.
And not having to get on a bus.
North of Richmond.
Okay, I did see something about that.
And I tell you now, there's, like you said, there's some truth in his music. And he doesn't hold back.
No, he don't.
And if he'd have took that $8 million, they would have said, "Now, we got to."
He would have went by the rules and regs, and they'd have mashed him.
Yeah.
And he said, "No, you ain't putting me on a bus, and I'm not going up on stage, and I'm not going. So you can keep your $8 million."
He don't want the smoke screens
That's
and
right.
all. Every time I think of that, I think about Pure Country.
Gosh, you took the words out of my mouth.
All he wanted to do, man, just wanted to sing his songs.
And what they call it, a chicken on a hot plate? Turn up the heat, make him dance.
That's right.
And that's kind of where we are here at this report. We're not owned by anybody. We do it the way it ought to be done. We don't have people from out of town telling us, you can't talk about that. No, you can't say there's a shooting. Not going to happen.
You can't tell the truth.
We can even say, "Thank you, sweet Jesus," if we want to.
That's right.
Sure can.
We like to say that word Jesus up
That's
in here.
exactly right.
And if you'll
Because he's the
notice-
reason why we're here.
That's right.
Yeah.
And y'all notice that's not said on networks anymore. But we're going to keep on keeping on.
That's right.
This was somewhere around 2005, and this is going to be new to you because it's new to me, and I can't listen to it either. But I met this old boy back in 2005, and he went on to become something with this new music. His name is Jake Owen. He's out there. But I met him years ago on the General Jackson Showboat. They introduced me. I said, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
Because I'm Jake. And I said, "I'm Scotty Ray." How you doing?
Hell, you is.
1981, this would be a day that I think everybody in this room remembers like it was yesterday, as we learned that shots rang out Reagan was shot.
Yes.
Now, if you'll notice this, look at this caddy in the back. They don't do that anymore to where they have all those bars.
Where they
for the
ride on it.
I hadn't noticed them, or either they just don't put it in video anymore.
They run behind it, or now if it's in a real crowded area, I think they pull up and start running beside it.
Well, yeah, I would get fired the first day.
I couldn't keep up. Slow down! We're only doing 1 mile an hour. Stop!
I couldn't do it. But Reagan, and of course, the Brady bill came out of this. If y'all remember, that was one of the agents that were shot. Boy. 1982. This girl's from Mississippi, y'all.
She had a set of pipes too.
Yes. But again, to me, what was the song? Blue. Yeah, I mean, I thought she's going places, and that's about all she did.
Yeah, she had one-way ticket and a few other things, but you're right.
But she had I thought she was going to be the next Patsy Cline.
Oh, she was.
We'll
good.
tell you after the show who that is, Odie.
Yes.
And I've got to put up. I signed his paycheck.
Yeah, I know, but you don't know anything about quality, good music.
Tell him, Greg.
Me and Scotty Ray have to educate you on good country music.
You get in Greg's truck. He's got 1940 called twice last week and said we want our music back.
Hey, I love my music. You can play any song I listen to backwards, and you'll get your truck, your wife, and your dog back.
See? Yeah, I mean, they still use the washboard and the water tub to play music.
That's right.
So, like, if I were to say there ain't no good chain gangs, Greg would know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
Oh, they're teaching us a lot today, Daddy.
That's right. Go ahead, Cash.
There ain't no good in an evil-hearted woman, and you don't go writing hot checks down in Mississippi.
I told Greg, I said, look, I'm getting an order together for Office Depot so we can get some more stuff. And he said, please, would you get me some more carbon paper? I'm about out.
That's right. Hey, the world was a lot better place when we had carbon paper and file cabinets. We've got all this stuff now to save time, and there's still only 24 hours in a day. We're always late. We're all because of these stupid phones that we're addicted to.
We are addicted.
And we are. And I'm not saying y'all, I'm saying we, because it's me too.
He's got
but
two of them.
I like my carbon paper. It was real simple. Now people will walk up, did you get that email from me? Well, we're standing here talking like two adults. Why don't we just talk instead of you typing something? I mean, I don't get it. Communicate.
Because there's no handshake anymore, and people go, well, you didn't tell me that. Yes, I did. No, you didn't.
Exactly.
Because there's no email that had a date stamp on it.
I know that when me and Debbie started Miss 101, they kept saying, I emailed you. And I said, well, why didn't you just tell me? And just
we're
like
looking at each other. Tell me, we're
Because
adults.
back then, that was very new, and you didn't use it. And
they were still faxing then.
And people will talk about a text. I can't believe they said that. Did you see what they said? How do you know what they said? They typed some words in a phone and hit send. I can't believe she said that like that. How do you know how they said it?
Because there's no tone
Here's
involved.
a thought. Go walk across the street, knock on the door, have a cup of coffee, and talk like human beings.
This. Me and Debbie had an argument last week. She called me about something, and I sent her something. I was in the middle of something, and I used one letter to answer her, and she jumped me. I put
Potassium.
K. I put K, and she goes, that was rude, Scotty Ray. I said...
Thank you. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You weren't rude. You were in a hurry.
That's right. They put K because I couldn't find the O.
That's
a man without reading glasses is dangerous, y'all.
I like the thumbs up emoji.
That's what
that's what. Just do the thumbs up emoji.
Okay.
I tell y'all this. They were making fun of us, all of us that used the emoji of the thumb up not long ago.
Well,
look, I went back and grabbed a little Tammy on this because I couldn't resist. Now, DIV, it all happened in 1996 on this day. She's a beautiful woman, Greg. You remember her.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's when they had the wreck, ain't it?
Well, no, this one he divorced
that's
her.
they just divorced.
She divorced Big Ears on this date.
Oh, okay.
She suspected him having a fling with Camellia, or what's her name? Kamala? What's her name?
No, that's a different
one. Oh, it's a different one. Whoops.
About the same. They look about the same.
Yeah, there you go.
Camellia, though, I think it is.
Did y'all know, if I tell Greg this, he'll know. Riding my thumb to Mexico. Oh, let's look at his face over there. He stole a goat one time.
Johnny Paycheck.
You're
No,
close. You got the
David
first-
Allen Coe. With Johnny Rodriguez.
There you go.
I was singing the song in my
You
head.
were thinking of riding the
when
goat, not
Rodriguez
stealing the
stole
goat.
that goat. That's a song too.
David Allen Coe.
David Allen Coe. Oh, yeah, I had
Hey,
to connect
pass me
the
by
dots.
if you're only passing through.
Yes.
Y'all remember that? But it was on this date,
man.
1998, Johnny Rodriguez was arrested. Why? Well, his next door neighbor was trying to come through the window to wake him up. Something he shot and killed him. He was later dismissed, and he thought it was a burglar, and it was his neighbor. And I forget what the whole issue was, but his neighbor didn't mean to, and he shot and took him out. Wow. David Allen Coe, on the other hand, meant to shoot that old boy in the bar.
That was an accident.
And Paycheck.
Paycheck cut that guy's ear off. He gave it back to him, though.
Sew that back on.
When we say outlaw country music, these guys really did what they sang about.
That's right.
Nowadays, they talk about tailgates and shorts and, things that
Or
they
my
think,
speakers go boom, boom. Don't make me throw up. I mean, I'm sorry. That's about as country. No, never mind.
And they have one-liners that go on.
On and on
Yeah.
and on. No
Like,
rhythm,
somebody paid
no
you for
steel guitar, no. If you don't have a steel guitar, you don't have country music.
I thought
You
of
ain't
you the
got a
other day.
fiddle
I was
in the
going.
band.
I flipped my phone on, and I don't know if you remember Friday Night Blues, where he works all week and he comes home. His wife's wanting to go out, and he's got the Friday Night Blues.
John Conley.
John Conley. Straight in Miss Emily's picture. Woo.
Backside
Backside of 30.
Yep.
I skipped work last Monday to Drake this month's
Hey,
rent.
we went to Jackson one time to see Brooks and Dunn, and John Conley was playing in the tent next door.
Ain't
And
that
they
cool?
all got mad at me because I left Brooks and Dunn and went and watched John Conley. Love him. I mean,
was.
the old school.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And that song really paints a picture of a guy that bumps into an old girlfriend,
Right.
and she goes, "Hey, give me a little call there, and a little hookup." And he goes, "Whoa, whoa, whoa."
I'm from the old school.
Yeah, we don't be doing none of that.
don't
You
do
had
no
your chance
hookup.
and you messed it up.
That's right. And I want
call.
to say, isn't he still performing?
Yeah, he sure is.
Steve
and of course,
Azar. Y'all know Steve Azar?
rose-colored glasses.
I've heard the name.
Steve Azar, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have to be me till Monday. He's
Oh,
going to be in town.
yeah. Okay, well, Baby Duck took the Ducklings, and they got to sing with him last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was at the Riley Center.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Max.
The Max, yeah.
I was at a rec scene. I didn't make it. Meant to, but didn't get there in time. But, so many things shape us as we grow up and what classics are.
No, that's scary. Don't start all that. What shaped you? You're thinking of getting back into my psychology days.
I'm working on it. We'll be right back. More on the way with Scotty Ray and Odie. Our special guest this morning, Greg Chatham. Y'all put a smile on. Interstate Auto, conveniently located on North Frontage Road in Meridian, right down from IHOP, has a large selection of late model cars and trucks just waiting on you. You may be in the market for an SUV or a family sedan to fit all the kids in. And a huge selection of trucks, whether it's a Ford, a GMC, a Chevrolet, a Dodge Ram that you're looking for, or an economical Toyota truck. Inventory changes daily at Interstate Auto. From a minivan to a sporty four-door sedan, Interstate Auto has what you need, North Frontage Road, Meridian. Rockhouse Gun and Pawn is open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. Lots of different calipers and brands to choose from when it comes to hunting rifles. Whether you're looking for a new pump shotgun or an AR, the Rockhouse will have the gun that you need. With a huge selection of ammunition for just about any caliber that you may be looking for. Pistols, scopes, and a whole lot more. Plus a private lobby for your confidentiality when it comes to your pawns. Rockhouse Gun and Pawn, located at 5430 Highway 19 North Meridian.
Can't get it
All
out.
right, we're doing a test here. I just put Greg on the spot, and I know the answer to this. Greg, this is kind of like the Gong Show.
We done gonged him.
Name Gene Watson's biggest hit.
Farewell Party.
That's big, but it's not his biggest.
Well, it
The
should be.
Farewell Party was good. I saw Joe Nichols perform that, and he done a pretty good job of making it sound close. Oh, I'm
That's
getting
like
negative.
Odie singing Hound Dog. It just ain't good. I'm sorry.
But you still listened.
Now think about this. It's an old boy. Let me describe the scene to you. It's an old boy who works in a sawmill. He ain't got much money, and he hooks up with this old girl that has a
14-karat mine.
There you go. I still the day that I met her, standing outside of Wilson's Five and Dime.
Yeah. Farewell Party was still good.
Yeah. Jamie Johnson goes on. If you've never heard this, isn't Jamie good?
I will admit, Jamie Johnson, Chris Stapleton is my two favorite And I call them new artists, even though they're probably 60 years old. But that's my new artist.
There you go. But you get into that first album that Jamie Johnson had. There's a song called Silver Eagle, and it's about a woman that he's dating that's all about money. And she ends up leaving him, and he has her wedding band melted down, and he makes a silver eagle, and he hung it on a chain. She left him for a banker, and he's going down the street years later, and he sees the banker on the street corner begging for money, and he ends the song by giving him that silver dollar. Pretty good there.
That poor fellow.
Y'all didn't get it as good as I did.
No, just didn't hit. I'm sorry.
It didn't hit home. I see the facial expressions there.
Farewell Party is T.G. Shepherd.
He re-recorded
He might
it.
have re-recorded it, but he was in diapers when it come out.
They sure was. But as I told Greg, my favorite Gene Watson song, and Alan Jackson re-recorded it, done another version. When we were down to nothing, nothing sure looked good on you.
Yep.
They carried your wedding on the news. Woo! But when we were down to nothing.
Miss LaBiche, if you need something from the office, 601-482-9852. They'll be open in about 10 minutes, or you can leave a message. 601-482-9852.
And I've already been there 2 hours this morning.
We have some sad news that we have to pass. We had an incident in Lauderdale County last night also. Odie, I know that you ran down to it. On State Boulevard Extension, we had somebody bumped with a car.
You're going to be okay. But it was dark outside, and there's not a lot of street lights in that area.
I used to own a house right along in there, and it's a sharp curve. And
Yeah, it's right on the other side of the swamp is what we call it.
State Boulevard Extension. Now, it didn't turn out as well in Kemper County last night. About an hour later after the incident happened in Lauderdale County, we would have another incident, and this would be on Highway 495. This would be in the 5,000 block of Liberty Road. What happened, an elderly gentleman was coming down the road. They ran over a snake. He stopped to finish it off, and someone come around the curve and struck and killed him. And we pass along condolences to family members, everybody involved on that. Such a sad, sad situation of how that happened. Be careful, especially at dusk, dark. Pull way off the road and don't stand in. People just don't pay attention. And I'm sure both parties are beyond upset on this.
Yeah, people is different driving nowadays. People don't pay attention. People don't see out in front of. They look right at the end of the car to drive when you should be looking way out there in front of you and know what's going on. People just don't drive like that anymore.
And Margie, you're absolutely right. We pass along condolences to the MSU student that was found deceased in a car at Mississippi State.
Yeah, definitely. Man, that's tough for everybody.
Now, I normally, unless this involved, let me explain this before I tell this news story. Suicides we don't usually cover unless it's done in a public area. When it's done in a public area, that becomes newsworthy. Yesterday afternoon, I got word that there had been a shooting. I went to the scene, and this is what we would find out. This was calls from us. Got it cleared from Clayton Cobbler. A person did die from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Here, this was the scene. We pass along condolences to everybody involved in that also. And again, when it's done in a public area, it becomes a news item if you're wondering why we cover that. If it's at a home, we don't touch that. As we go on to some more stories, Newton County. Let's go to the city of Newton. We got somebody wanted, y'all. We had a shooting. A female was struck with gunfire on Saturday night. As we go here, I spoke to the chief of police, and he wanted to get this out. Richard Russell is wanted for fleeing a shooting scene. Again, a female was struck. They're looking for this young man for his involvement with it, alleged involvement. Has not been arrested as of 6 o'clock this morning that I'm aware of. So we'll check back with Randy and make sure everything is okay on that as well. Now, we had another big incident yesterday that this could have turned out horrible. In the end, it did not. I got a call that an accident had happened on 10th Avenue and 19th Street. And as we show up on the scene, this is what we saw. Ambulance, police are on each side. There's a car here over in the ditch that is wrecked. A small child was thrown from that car in the middle of the highway or in the middle of the street. Miraculously, I got word hour and a half later, that the child was 100% okay. Somehow or another, that baby, when it was thrown from the car, didn't get a scratch in the middle of the street. Can y'all believe that?
Amen.
Man, that's something.
Amen.
Miss LaBeach is saying automobile accident, 10th and 19th Street, 10th Avenue and 19th Street. Is that right now?
No, I believe that's this one.
No, that's the one.
This is this one.
Where the baby was ejected.
Yeah.
I tell you, if y'all are at a store and you see somebody grab a child, a little bitty baby, an infant, and put it in their lap and go driving down the road, call 911. That's one of my pet peeves. If you can't put your child in the back seat and strap him in a safety seat, and you don't need to be having that child in the vehicle with you, because that could have turned out real bad.
Ooh.
Man, and that child didn't have any idea of what to do and what not to do, so it couldn't tell if it was wrong.
And think if there had been another car following closely.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So we send a thank you to the good Lord above on this one, because it turned out good. We'll be right back. We got more. We ain't through. Y'all don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
Bring on long days, sweltering heat, and acres that just won't end. Exmark mowers were born to deliver legendary reliability, signature cut quality, and stubborn durability that refuses to give in. Because like you, Exmark mowers were built for this. Visit your local dealer or explore an Exmark online for special finance offers available now.
Need an expert to repair a rock? Advanced Auto Glass by Joey for quality workmanship and customer service. Convenient same-day service, as well as in-house calibration for vehicle safety systems. Reliable mobile service is available in Clark, Kemper, Neshoba, Lauderdale, and Newton counties for all cars, trucks, and heavy equipment. Book your appointment today for custom tinting. It can reduce temps, fading, glare, and more. Improve the safety and enhance the appearance of your vehicle today with services from Advanced Auto Glass by Joey.
Will Parker is your local lawyer located here in Meridian. If you've been in an auto accident, see Will and get the help you deserve. Will explain your rights. Call or go online at parkerfirm.net. Will Parker, your local lawyer, 2110 Front Street, Meridian. Welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray, along with Odie, and of course our special guest this morning. Let's show his picture one more time. That's Greg.
That's so great.
I bet your wife sitting back going, "That's my husband."
No, she turned the channel off. Changed the channel.
She's still mad because the pager went off at 4 o'clock this morning.
I bet she is.
Yeah.
We've had an incident. This was early Saturday morning, and as always, we've had banks robbed. This is the new way that criminals are getting around Meridian. They rob things, steal things on bicycles. We've had at least 2 banks robbed on a bicycle, if not 3.
Yeah,
I'm not kidding you. And Greg, they get away.
Yeah, They're better at bicycling than I was.
Yes, I mean, folks, they can move.
And they're not using no weed eater.
And I'm gonna be honest with you here. I have reports. I've received pictures. I'm just to say a word that might upset some folks. There's a little prostitution that goes on with this also. There are drug deals being done on bicycles in Meridian. It's quick, it's easy, and they pedal away and they never get caught.
How high is gas now? I mean, come on.
I wouldn't be any good if I had to ride a bicycle.
I wouldn't be able to talk when I got there. I was going to sell you this.
How much?
Let me catch my breath.
Good point. Let's go to the 200 block of 47th Avenue. And this is what's bad is you're a homeowner. You're standing there and you call the police and you go, "This dude on a bicycle just stole something." He was last seen toting this weed eater. Here we go. A weed eater is stolen. The bicycle thief's truck headed out. Here's Highway 19. This is where a murder or two might have happened right in here. We had a murder here. There is no doubt crime in this area. Some folks got shot at up here, stole their weed eater, and drove off. Last seen taking a right-hand turn on Hooper Street with their weed eater.
And he's going to sell it because they're not going to.
Yeah, they ain't going to steal nothing to work with unless they're selling it.
Yeah, and that's what went on with that. So I feel bad for the homeowners, but this bicycle theft, and it is, I kid you not, one of the fastest growing things is selling drugs on bicycles now. So just keep an eye peeled when you're out and about.
Get you a sack of rocks, like Ernest T. Bass. If they ride off on that bicycle, see, you can knock them off with a rock.
Yes, you can.
Slingshot.
It'll take care of it. We had another incident that I rolled up on. This would be on Bunton Gun Road early Sunday morning. I think it was Sunday. Could have been Saturday. I'm confused as to what day it was.
One of them.
When was the 26th?
That was Saturday.
Between the 25th and 7th.
I got to deal with that every day.
Saturday morning is when this happened. A dozer come loose from the trailer.
Happens a lot nowadays,
Yeah,
don't
a
it?
lot of dozers are saying I'm done.
Yeah.
As we take a look at this trailer upside down, this is old E.V. Harrington stores right up here. And this is the scene there, and they've got it reloaded on another trailer here, part way back there in the curve.
It can happen so quick, especially if they're loaded on a steel floor, which I wasn't paying attention to that trailer.
It's wood.
But I hauled a bulldozer for over 20 years back and forth every day. That was my daily driver. And it can happen. I mean, and I don't care what you bind it with. People say, oh, it wasn't bound down, wasn't tied down, didn't have no strap. You can bind it with anything you want to. But if something happens, somebody pulls out in front of you, like talking on a cell phone or something.
Yeah.
Something's coming loose.
It's going to get you can't stop on a dime with it.
And, you know, there are cases where they're not bound down like they should be. But I'm just saying, it's hard to stop a bulldozer.
And I really hate, Greg, that I don't have that picture in front of me now on Highway 493 in the curve at Covington's of the dozer sitting
straight up.
Sticking straight up.
Yeah.
Didn't you have one 2 weeks ago where it dug up a
on
trench?
493.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was almost like a repeat.
Well, I'm serious. These dozers cost a lot of money. Be a
Yeah.
little more careful.
Yeah, y'all watch it. So that was one of the incidents that we had over the weekend there, and it seems like there was one or two other things that we needed to bring up here. We had a low-speed chase.
Same thing with O.J. Simpson was a slow
35 miles an hour, y'all, floating down a back country road.
Was it on a bicycle?
Toyota pickup truck, 1996 model, as a matter of fact. As we go here to take a look here, didn't get away from the deputies though. They got those Chargers.
That's a good-looking Toyota. They won't sell it?
They going to need bail money. You might get a good deal.
It wasn't driven hard.
No.
Yeah.
35. I only drove it. Never been over 35.
In one high-speed chase, low-speed chase.
That's right.
Yeah.
Only drove it to church. Lived in the parsonage.
Got a little ride there. We did have a faster one. Any Neshoba County folks watching this morning?
Yeah.
Over 100 miles an hour. Boogie there, as we had a motorcycle chase in Neshoba County, and the sheriff told us they didn't make an arrest of that. Joe Ryle was taken into custody at the scene after speeds of 104 miles an hour on that motorcycle began there. Eric Clark and the gang was all over that. His deputies done that pursuit on Highway 15. So don't be trying to run away from them up in Neshoba County. They're going to get you.
They're going to get you.
Let's see here. We had a motorhome fire. Did y'all know about that?
Yes. That was Friday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Highway 19 North.
That was it. Let's take a look at that as we pull up the scene from that. Now, fortunately, they did have a fire extinguisher and helped save the motorhome.
Right.
Highway Patrol showed up on the scene. As we'll look at this, that's a motorhome there, and that could have went up quick. As we get closer into this, that's our gang there from Sicalina. As we get into that, that's where the fire started out. They were able to find a fire extinguisher and start putting that out as firefighters showed up on the scene. It was
that's rare that you see a motorhome that gets under control.
Yeah.
I mean, 'cause like you say, it spreads so quick. They're made out of very flammable material. Hats off to the men and women that responded to that one and to the driver. And that reminds me too, always have a fire extinguisher. And I don't care how you're fired, you got to check it. Make sure it's charged. A fire extinguisher's no good if the little hand ain't in the green.
That's it.
And tell me this, I hadn't bought one in a while. Greg, what's one cost to keep in your kitchen or in your truck? What do they go for?
Everything's went up, you know what I'm saying?
25.
30, 40 bucks max. But they're no good if you don't check them. I'm just telling you, you need to make sure that they're charged.
Replace them once a year.
Replace them.
And take the old one outside and take the family out there with you and practice using it.
Now, we're going to end the show with a sad note. I hate to end it on a sad note, but you watched it when you were sick, and I did too. Everybody in this room did.
I just hope somebody else will pick up the spade and neuter.
Come on down. You're the next contestant.
On the prices.
Entertainment Tonight broke the thing here, and I'll show you there. That's back in the day there.
Man.
Bob Barker.
99 years old.
And
Happy Gilmore.
It is. Was that not a good show where Bob Barker won the fight?
Price is wrong, Bob.
Yeah. There's no more Happy Gilmore 2 with Bob Barker.
And let's just be honest about this. I think I speak the truth when I say that most folks tuned in to watch the ladies that showed the prizes. I mean, it had an attraction.
Yeah.
I stumbled across this a couple weeks or a month or so ago, and it's no longer ladies doing that. It's dudes showing the prizes, in case y'all didn't know.
I'm not going to say anything, but y'all can go what y'all want to, right? So Bob got a little bit of trouble, didn't he?
Just a wee bit.
Because of
ladies. So they
now,
brought.
who's the host?
I thought you were going to say something else there for a second. Thank goodness you said that.
Who's the host?
Let it go, Odie.
Drew. Oh,
Drew Carey.
Drew, that guy. That's whose line is it anyway?
Drew
That's
Carey?
him. That's him.
So Bob liked women.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Drew.
Wow.
So
That's for the other team.
Really, I didn't.
I didn't know that. Odie's just full of knowledge.
I told y'all.
Well,
y'all listen.
I didn't know, but I was expecting the ladies like they normally do to come out and show that prize, and there was this old boy. I said, "Where'd you come from? She must be sick today." And then I realized that the whole
Drew Carey hired me.
The whole thing changed. It is not what it used. The Price is Right. Boy, you remember everybody they even had Vanna White as a guest one time on there in The Price is Right.
Who was the old original announcer? He'd come on down.
I know what you're talking about. Come on down.
Yeah, what was his name? I'd like the horn rim glasses, and Bob would give him fits, you know.
McMahon.
Ed McMahon?
No,
No.
Was it? I thought it was Johnny.
Johnny.
Who's up next? So and so.
They'd always say, "All right, Johnny, who's coming now?" or whatever.
Yeah, but it showed a picture of him on something here recently. He was the announcer. It come on down. Anyhow, all right.
Did y'all see the little documentary about the guy who, I guess you could say he didn't hack, but he knew The Price is Right.
Yes.
He studied.
Got every prize. He knew the money.
Really?
Yes. And every time he would go, just about every one of them. And if he saw somebody he'd like, he'd tell them to bid this. And they'd bid, and they would win. And he finally got chosen, and he was dead on the money. He knew exactly what it was costing. He won everything out there. And he would keep going back, and he would tell them, that's $12.75. And they'd bid $12.75, and you'd hear that ding. Somebody got it exactly right. And it was $12.75.
So what was it? I have to ask you, what was that wheel called in the back where you'd have to jerk it?
The big wheel? Yeah.
And
Johnny Olson, according to Google, is what we've got. Austin got it on there, and Alicia did too. So Johnny Olson was his name.
Well, look at that. Learned a lot this morning, but a page of history as we lose Bob Barker at 99 years old.
Who didn't watch that? You know what I'm saying? You home from school sick. You had to watch Price is Right.
Ace Hardware, 2.5-pound kitchen fire extinguisher, $12.99.
There we are.
That's a cheap investment that can save everything.
So y'all keep that in mind. We can't say thank you enough. We're coming back tomorrow, believe it or not. Once again,
less than 23 hours away. We'll be back to bring you another show of more knowledge of everything.
He's babbling again. But how much fun this has been.
It has. Greg, we can't say thank you enough for coming in.
Hey, I appreciate it. Y'all pay attention, love one another, have a good day.
We'll be back tomorrow morning.
Bye-bye.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: